It's raining outside. Now, so we're going to try to figure out how to get this board to drop down into this cut that we cut yesterday in the floor. That side butts all the way up against the wall. I really don't want to mess with that. Now on the old, I just need to verify that the this is in the right place as far as, and it may have to go just a little bit over. I still may have to get the coupler for it, and whatever else to make sure everything goes in there correctly. I'll mess with that in a minute. But the old one didn't go all the way up to the wheel well anyway, so just trying to figure out what's going to be the best option here. If I have to cut a little bit off to slide it to the then we'll do that. If not, we'll mess with this here, and we'll cut a little more of that notch out over there, and then the drain, the area for the drain is going to be right in this area here. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out where all that's supposed to go. I am down a helper today, which is kind of hard, but it's okay. It'll work. This is what I'm doing. This is a 3" by 10" register ducting. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually bending these flaps back to create so I can drop it into the floor. I went to try to find one at the hardware store and did not find one. So needless to say, I'm trying to remove the old staples out of here, and then I'm gonna bend these back, and then that way I can just put it down through the floor and connect it that way. So that's what we're doing. So I have all the staples removed. I'm not going to bend them all over right now because I need to cut the floor out and then bring it up and then put cut the part out in the floor and then bring this up and then overlap it onto the board and then screw it down. This gives you a little bit of an idea here. The wires there is where the toilet's going to be underneath the wall. But one of the things I was wanting to measure out here in just a few minutes is the lovely little, where the junction box, not the junction box, but the furnace filter box is going to go, and it's going to go on the outside. It's got to go on the outside of this wall, so it'll go right in here. In this area, and then it'll fold it over, so that's where it'll go. That little notch we cut out for the wires, after further inspection, this is where it needs to be. So when we bring in the other board, we already got that notch cut, which is good, so we have an extra little spot there. It's okay, not too bad. This is really flimsy right in here, just because we cut this real thin, but you can see when we get this, when we get everything in place, that these will actually cover the holes. We have to find one for this. But what we're going to do as a temporary measure, since my help for this is a little under the weather right now, and we just need to have a temporary fix. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to attach the toilet to the floor. We're going to put the old flange back on it. The new one will not work. It's too short. And what they were trying to tell me that this was a actual pipe that's sticking down in there. Not necessarily the case. So we are going to put the old flange in there, and then it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And then put the toilet on there just for the time being. That way he has a functional toilet. Because it will be about a week or so before I can come back and revisit this project. Moment of truth here in just a few minutes. We're going to hook up the water. We rehooked the line up to the toilet. Like I said, this is pretty much going to be a temporary fix until I can get back over here. He did hook up the faucet there. And he's going to bring in a bucket. That way I can wash hands and stuff like that. We have that particular gray water. This one's from the shower, so this pipe is not so worrisome. But one of the things that we did make sure is that we have some other cutoff valves installed. They're all off. And once the water comes back on, we're going to see how well this toilet does. Like I said, this is a temporary fixed. The flange is not screwed down to the floor just yet. But it should work for the meantime. One of the things I did discover is they make a step so you can bring your low profile toilets up to a higher profile one. Since this is a low, it was a low that was in the old one, may eventually put in the step to bring it up to a little bit higher. That's for sure, but at least this will work for the time being. As you can see, we got that there. Cut off valves. These two lines will eventually go back to the sink. We're going to look. There's the water coming back in. Sounds like the kitchen is on, so I may have to run up there real quick and see what's going on. Okay, so that noise up front was the kitchen sink was just on, so not a big deal. We have already filled and flushed the toilet here. So as you can see, let's go there. This is a hand flush, so we can. There we go, and we're just halfway to fill, and then flush. Yeah, how cool is that? So we can fill it halfway. And there does not, my hair got in the way. Does not appear to be any leaks, which is something that we were concerned about. Go around this way.
No water.
Take a look. No waterfall back here behind the toilet. That's good. There's the line. That line's looking good. These lines are looking good. Those faucets, like I said, he's going to bring in the bucket so he can wash hands and stuff. You know, brush teeth, do whatever. So it's looking good. Nice little temporary fix until we can get back and really solid, make everything solid.